Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today I'm going to be casting for you a PvZ on Tal'Darim Altar. Well, at least that's going to be game 1. I'm actually going to be casting an entire best of 5 for you today. Just like yesterday, this is going to be from the IEM tournament that is currently going on in Guangzhou, China. Definitely an amazing tournament. I have to tell you, I am super pumped right now because I just watched one of the semi-final matches, and it was I don't even know if I want to say anything about it. I don't want to spoil too much. It was such a crazy, epic, crazy long game. I'll give you this much. Game 2 was 45 minutes long, and it was out of control. Absolutely out of control. Ridiculous. If you guys were watching live, or if you guys have seen the VODs of that, then you know what I'm talking about because those games were so epic. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. I don't know if I'm going to be casting them. I don't know how much more of the IEM I'm going to be casting. I'm going to try to cast as much of it as I can, but for right now, we're going to be casting a quarterfinals match. Now, this is going to be, as you have already seen, spawning here in the bottom left corner as the red Protoss, we have mouzHasu. Spawning here in the top right position as the blue Zerg, we have Mortal Teamwork's mTwDIMAGA. So this is, as I said, going to be a best of 5, and I am super excited because both of these players are absolutely incredible, just absolutely amazing European players. mTwDIMAGA, of course, being from the Ukraine, while Hasu being from Germany. Both of them absolutely amazing players, and both of them currently in China right now to compete in the IEM. Definitely very excited for this whole tournament. I'm actually gonna finish casting this game right now, and then I'm just gonna go watch the finals because the finals is happening right after I finish casting this series. So definitely super excited for that. You should definitely go check it out somehow. Either if you get the chance, watch it live. I guess you're not gonna be able to see this in time because by the time I upload this, I think the tournament will be over. But go find the VODs somewhere. I'm going to cast a few games from the series. I'm probably going to do a couple more just because, like I said, in yesterday's cast, there are just some ridiculously epic matches from that tournament. So I'm probably going to cast some more of those games just because they're really good, and not a lot of them are showing up on YouTube for some reason. If you go on Team Liquid or go to Liquipedia, you can find VODs there, or if you just Google IEM, then you'll definitely find some of those VODs there. So yeah, go do that because there are so many really good games cast by Mr. Bitter and Rotterdam, both doing an absolutely amazing job. I actually really like Rotterdam. I don't think, I said this yesterday, but I just really don't think that Rotterdam gets nearly enough credit for all the amazing casting that he does. I really love his style of casting. Absolutely love it. I think he's got a very good mix of analysis. He's got really good analysis too. Really good analysis and just really entertaining to listen to. Love listening to the guy talk. He's got that cool voice too. He's got that southern accent. I don't know where he's from, but man, he's got a cool accent. Alright, I should now jump into this game because we are now 4 minutes into this game, and it looks like mTwDIMAGA is going to be going for a bit of a secret expansion here. He's going for the secret third up here in this 11 o'clock position here. Definitely going to be an interesting little twist there, and Hasu is definitely not going to be able to scout that immediately, not going to know about it, because it's just kind of screwy. It's kind of screwy there for mTwDIMAGA to do. Now, mTwDIMAGA is getting down his natural expansion hatchery. I'm wondering if Hasu is actually seeing any strangeness in the timing that this went down. If he thinks that this is just a little bit late and is kind of got a bit of a question mark going on. He's checking in here right now and seeing that no gas has been mined yet. So, I mean, those minerals are being spent somewhere, but Hasu is just not seeing where yet. Yeah, as you can see, he's definitely confused right now, trying to go around, check and see if he took that quick third. Definitely not seeing a quick third right now. Will he go scout this top position? We will see in just a moment. Looks like this one Ling is going to come and start to pressure this probe to get out of here. In the meantime, if you didn't already see, mouzHasu is going for that Forge fast expand style. Got that Forge down, got that Photon Cannon down. Just now starting in Cybernetics Core, getting very well saturated at his main base. Let's check out that ever so important harvester count. As we can see, Hasu is actually up by just a little bit right now, 27 harvesters to 24. Whoa, there we go, 29 harvesters to 24 right now. But that is going to change here pretty soon as mTwDIMAGA is going to start to get up a lot of drones at this expansion and at this expansion as well. 2 queens coming right down for mTwDIMAGA right now. Definitely making sure to control this Xel'Naga watch tower. Absolutely smart play here by mTwDIMAGA. Wants to be controlling as much of the map as he can just because this build can be just a little bit dangerous. Taking this fast of a third means he's sunk a lot of resources into this. It means he's going to have a lot less money for Zerglings, a lot less money for Spine Crawlers, so his defenses are going to be much more thin here. He's going to need to rely on on a lot of map vision to be able to know exactly what is going on and know when his opponent is pushing out here. So, in the base of Hasu, though, I think he did actually scout this Forge fast expand. Yeah, he did see that Forge go down, so he's going to know that there's an expansion up there. And this Zergling that is now running up the ramp looks like it is not going to get taken out by that Stalker. Hasu just continuing to get a lot more probes up there, starting a very, very early +1 here. This is definitely a good indicator that Hasu is going to be in this game for the long term, not trying to end this game quickly, which I'm not sure is the best idea right now, considering that Dimaga went for this fast expansion right now. I guess I should actually explain that just a little bit too, just because we're seeing this ground weapons level 1. This is 100 minerals and 100 gas that was spent in resources, and look at that. What's it going to be good on right now? It's going to be good for a sentry, maybe a couple of zealots. There's a zealot around on the map somewhere. There's also a stalker around on the map. That's all it's benefiting right now once he gets that +1 up. So this is definitely something that's going to be much more helpful in the mid game. This is not going to help him quite so much in this early game when he really doesn't have that many units. So this tells me that he is just going to be going for a little bit more long-term focused play, going to be trying to extend this game out and try to go for a big win in the mid or late game. Dimaga is definitely going to be happy with that choice as well. Like I said, getting that third up, he's definitely going to be wanting to get up a lot of drones. He's going to want to sit back and macro and not produce Zerglings as much as possible. We can see that he does have some Zerglings moving around the map right now. In the base of Dimaga, we can see that Lair Tech is just now coming up. Roach Warren being started here by Dimaga. Roach is definitely a little bit of a, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about Roaches right now. I definitely need to see some more Roach play. Ever since patch 1.4, a lot of Protoss have just been going for a big number of immortals, and that's really been making it very difficult for Zerg players to go for mass immortals, or for mass roaches rather, which is what was kind of a standard there for quite a while in the ZVP matchup. We do see an observer being chrono boosted out right now. Here by Hasu, we see a robotics bay going down as well. Looks like he's going to be going for those Colossus. Can be very strong against this build, because so far looks like from Dimaga we're just seeing some Lings and Roaches coming down for Dimaga. This is definitely a build that a lot of pros have been experimenting with lately. Been seeing this a lot from players where they're using Lings to kind of hold their opponent's units in place while the Roaches kind of deal the damage. Definitely can be a very strong build against Protoss, just because Protoss tends to have that big clumped up death ball. If the Zerglings can get a good surround there, they can get a lot of surface area to attack on. They can do quite a bit of damage there. So it's something that a lot of Zerg players have been playing with. Now on the production tab, we do see a Spire here coming up for Dimaga. Where is that Spire right now? There we go. There's that Spire coming down right now for Dimaga, spreading that creep all around the map. Definitely loving the creep spread right now from Dimaga. We do see another hatchery going up. Looks like Dimaga's getting ready to take a 4th expansion. That is a very early 4th expansion, considering he is just now getting saturated on 3 base here. Looks like he's, just now starting to get saturated, and he is not wasting any time at all. Immediately going to be going for some more saturation. We do see creep spread here coming out from every single direction. Check out this creep spread. Holy cow, that is beautiful creep spread, just gooping everything up, getting that whole map good and covered. We do see Hasu also taking an expansion of his own, definitely going to be taking this 3rd, and then just walling off with gateways here. This is something that is very commonly done by Protoss players. Sometimes even see him completely wall off there by completing this whole wall off. Yeah, we see them. Hasu is going to be just walling this entire thing off there. Not going to be allowing any Zergling run-bys there. Loving that SimCity there from Hasu. We see that 4th coming up for Dimaga right now, continuing to macro up, and there we go, 12 Mutalisks now on the way for Dimaga. Looks like he's going to be getting out 12 Mutalisks, +1 Zerg flyer attacks coming up, as well as the Carapace and melee attacks for ground units as well. So looks like this is going to be mostly a Ling Baneling mixture. We are not seeing any Roaches at all being produced right now, and I'm actually kind of curious as to why he actually produced this Roach Warren in the first place. Now we do have Mutas moving across the map here for Dimaga. Looks like they're going to be poking into the natural expansion just a little bit to try to see if they can't deal some damage here. Twilight Council just now starting that blink research. We also see Colossi now coming down for Hasu. Hasu going for a very interesting mixture here. It's a very small mixture of high-tech units here. We've got a lot of sentries here for those Zerglings, got a lot of Colossi here. This is going to be an interesting mix for Hasu. Not a lot of Stalkers in the mix right now. Did have some Stalkers around, there they are, but this is a lot of Mutalisks that are now coming into the map, trying to pick off these Colossi, dealing a lot of damage, but it looks like these Stalkers are finally going to be able to chase those mutalisks away. We do now have +2 ground weapons coming down for HaSu. These ground units are going to start to deal a lot of damage. This is something we have to keep in mind, despite the fact that this army is kind of small-ish. It's not a huge army. All of these units have +1/+1 right now, and they're about to have +2 as well. So these are going to be very, very strong units. This is what I was talking about earlier. He was investing in the mid to late game. That means that his units are going to start to be really, really strong here just because he got these early upgrades, and now his army is just growing, and those upgrades are going to help so much going into the mid game. Dimaga getting that other expansion up while he stays very, very active with these mutalisks. Definitely wants to stay as active as possible here. Looks like he's going to be poking in here, managing to force a cancel there on those cannons. Coming around again. Is he going to force any more? Doesn't look like it. He actually is going to get off another photon cannon there. Nice little pick off there. Getting in, poking in right now, trying to deal some damage, trying to pick off some sentries here, but I think he stayed just a little bit too long. Actually lost a couple of mutalisks there in that exchange. Let's check out that unit's loss tab right now. It's not too big. At this point in time, we can see Dimaga has lost just a tiny bit more in resources than HaSu has, but continuing to macro up quite a bit. 177 food to 150 food of HaSu right now. Definitely Dimaga is going to be looking to attack here very soon before HaSu gets too many forces out and gets this army too big, because once this army gets really, really big, it is definitely going to be very, very hard to deal with if he's just going strictly for this Ling Muta composition. Ling Muta is very, very good at counterattacks, very good at swinging around, poking in, doing a lot of poking and prodding at your opponents, forcing your opponent to split up his army, but when it comes down to a direct assault where your opponent is just marching his entire army up to your front base, then you definitely start to get a little bit sketchy there, and it starts to be a little bit scary for forces. Now Dimaga is coming in here. He's going to try to force a cancel on the Templar Archives. That is going to be huge there for HaSu. Denying that Templar Archives for as long as possible is definitely what Dimaga wants to be able to do. If he can get up that Templar Archives, he can start to get up a lot of those High Templar, which is going to be able to Psystorm on all of these mutalisks and all of these zerglings, be able to deal a lot of damage. Dimaga just now getting maxed at 200 food on this fourth base, currently just mining gas right now. Definitely loving that. As we can see, he's doing a pretty good job at keeping his money low. His money is going to start to climb right now, continuing to inject constantly. As we can see, he's starting to save up a lot of larvae at all of these hatcheries. Going to start to save up all those larvae so that once he does finally engage his opponent, he'll be doing what Day 9 calls the 300 food push, where he's going to be pushing with a max 200 army, but as things die, he's just going to immediately start rebuilding, start dealing a lot of damage. We can see that's exactly what Dimaga is doing here as he's moving out with a big force of Lings, Mutas right now, and as these forces die, you're just going to see Dimaga's food hopefully stay at 200. As things die, he's just going to constantly be replenishing with more Zerglings, more Mutas, and here we go. Now we have Dimaga moving in now with a lot of Lings, lots of Mutas up here at the front. It looks like they're going to try to get in there to try to deal some damage, but the forces of HaSu are now pulling back to come try to deal with this direct engagement here. In the meantime, these Mutas are going to be swinging around to the back of HaSu's base, trying to get some kills off here on these probes. Looks like he's going to be able to pick off a photon cannon or two, but the Stalker's getting here just in time to be able to push that back. There is an observer here that is checking out all these Zerglings. Looks like he's going to try to move up here and try to trap a bunch of these Zerglings here, and that's exactly what we're seeing, all the Zerglings. There we go. Dimaga now pulling those Zerglings back, trying to keep them alive as long as possible. Dimaga now just continuing. I'm actually surprised he's not taking another base right now. He's got so many bases up, getting so many resources in the bank right now. Definitely going to be in a very, very strong position very, very soon here. Going to start to be able to look very strong, but look at this army here from HaSu, just now warping in a whole lot of High Templar. 7 High Templar currently up here for HaSu, and this could be very, very strong here. In the meantime, big Zergling counterattack coming in here for Dimaga. Going to be able to deny this hatchery from going down. HaSu is going to react here and try to stop this, but there is not going to be much he can do. These Zerglings are going to be able to take down this base very, very quickly. These Zerglings are currently 2-2 in upgrades, doing very good. Oh no, HaSu with the excellent force fields right now, able to catch a lot of Zerglings here, getting a lot of free Zergling kills here for HaSu, but in the meantime, these Zerglings are trying to move into the natural expansion, and the Mutas are now moving into the main, going to start to deal a lot of damage. HaSu starting to look like he's going to need to push here very soon, because he's starting to have to be forced to split up his army quite a bit here. In the meantime, these Mutalisks coming in here, dealing a lot of damage. Checking out the workers killed count, currently 15 workers killed right now for Dimaga, and he is still in the main, still trying to get as many probe kills as he can. Definitely taking out the assimilator. This is something that a lot of players will neglect. A lot of times players will see assimilators, but they'll try to go for things like warp gates, try to take out things like warp gates. And while that is good to cut down on the production of your opponent, these are much beefier and much harder to destroy, whereas assimilators don't have nearly as much health, and if you take them out, it really stops their tech completely for quite a while, just because they're not mining gas for a very long time, because they need to rebuild that assimilator, then get it mining again. A lot of times, even when you attack guys mining gas, a lot of times a less experienced player will not even realize that their guys are missing off of gas, and sometimes you can actually deny them quite a bit of tech that way. They won't just realize that they only have one or maybe one or two harvesters on a gas geyser, but it looks like Hasu finally starting to look a little bit scary here as he's now moving out. These forces are currently 3-1 in upgrades. He's got a lot of High Templar here, which are going to be able to burn those Psy Storms off as soon as those Lings and mutalisks come in here. Mutalisk currently dealing a lot of damage to the natural expansion here at DIMAGA's base. Looks like we are going to have a base trade situation here on our hands, as DIMAGA really doesn't have a whole lot to be able to deal with all these forces here at his door. DIMAGA doing everything he can to try to destroy this base as quickly as he can, but this force is just ripping through everything on the map right now for Hasu. Hasu coming in with a couple of Colossi here, still has all these High Templar with a lot of energy, going to be able to Psy Storm and then immediately warp into Archons, both of which do huge amounts of damage to Lings and Mutalisks, and Hasu now just moving out with a big force, going to be moving into the natural expansion here of DIMAGA. DIMAGA trying frantically to take everything out, but I think if it's going to be a base race, DIMAGA's going to have a lot of trouble dealing with this, and DIMAGA is now finally forced to pull back here. Psy Storm's going down here. Looks like he's trying to pick off as many Lings as he can. Oh my god, Psy Storm's going off in the drone line, getting so many worker kills there for Hasu, and now he's just going to be pulling back after dealing his damage. The Mutalisks are coming in right now, but I don't think the Mutalisks are going to be able to take out this many forces. The Mutalisks are only 1-0 in upgrades, and all of these Stalkers are currently 3-2 in upgrades. There's not going to be any way that DIMAGA's going to be able to hold this. Holy Broodlords, though, Batman. That is a ton of Broodlords just now morphing in here for DIMAGA. They are all storming across the map right now, and is he going to be able to actually defend this attack? I think he actually is going to be able to hold this 189 food to 105 food of Hasu right now, and holy cow, DIMAGA now just moving across the map with so many Broodlords right now. Let's check out that unit counting station right now. 11 Broodlords currently on the map here for DIMAGA, currently sitting at 180 food. I knew DIMAGA had to be doing something with all that money that he was saving up in the bank after all those Lings died, and now we can see that he is now moving across the map in force right now, as we can see that Hasu's frantically trying to warp in more Stalkers to be able to deal with his opponent's push. 20 Stalkers currently on the map here for Hasu, and now DIMAGA completely on the offensive right now, completely annihilated that push there from Hasu, and now he's moving across the map with these Broodlords. Needs to be very careful about how he controls this, needs to try to defend these Broodlords as much as possible. If these Stalkers get under those Broodlords, they can just blink under those Broodlords and take them out quite quickly here, but it looks like DIMAGA does know that these Stalkers are coming, and here go the Broodlords now starting to target fire all of these Stalkers down. The Stalkers are going down rather quickly. All the Lings coming in. Looks like they are going to be able to take out this force, and I think DIMAGA is actually going to be able to take this game. Absolutely amazing play here from DIMAGA in Game 1. We are now going to be going into Game 2 right now, so stick with me, guys. This is going to be an epic tournament, I will tell you that right now.